So we're good. So what are we doing? Waiver wire forecast? We're skipping that?
Stop. We're live, man. Well, hello there, intentional streamers. Welcome to another fantastic podcast with Brad.
Yeah. Fantastic.
And Jarvis.
I'm here.
And of course, Flip, your gracious host. I guess that's what I'll call myself.
Curtsy for everyone.
Just to give you guys all a reminder, this is our YouTube channel that we'll be using for all podcasts. So be sure to hit the subscribe and the bell so you get notified when we actually do go live. With no further ado, let's get on the road here and go with Brad's waiver forecast for week 6.
Yes, sir. Well, I think it's going to be a light rain without much waiver pickups.
That's a good analogy.
No, I think there might be just a few spots. I didn't really see anything stand out, but if we go through the running backs, if you're needing a running back just for a spot fill in, just for the time being, you're probably going to go after Smallwood for the Eagles with Ajayi going out. They're still in search of another running back, but they really just have Smallwood. Clement sounds like his injury is almost over. He should be playing, but other than that, they're still waiting for Sproles. So Smallwood should be probably picked up. Powell still out there. Alfred Blue, who knows? He might be splitting time the rest of the year with Lamont Miller.
They have Foreman coming back.
Foreman will
there.
be coming back like week 7, I think.
Well,
But as of right now, a great filler.
Yeah.
Like, he's a starting
again,
running back.
plus, he's coming back from Achilles, and not many people have come back that quickly, so we'll see how effective he would really be. I would say Alfred Blue might be just first spot if you got a roster spot, and if you're really desperate, that Juszczyk's out there.
Juszczyk?
Juice.
Cow! Juszczyk.
Maybe some receiver relief if you need for fillers. There's Moncrief, Chester Rogers. And I think if you need some taxi squad guys, Traquan Smith, somebody dropped him last week.
Yep, guilty. Dropped him last week. Going into that game, he had 1 target. So, yeah, I wasn't super optimistic. But, the Saints wide receivers were a little bit banged up. They were short-handed with Ted Ginn out. So I think when Ginn Jr. comes back, I think Traquan takes his spot back in that 4th passing option role.
A guy with 3 targets, that's not a guy that you really want to roster at this point.
No, I'm talking more for if you got taxi room.
Yeah, taxi stash.
You're going to want to put him on.
Yeah, why not?
The same thing with Marquez Valdez Scantling. The law firm.
Does sound like a law firm. He was my sleeper last week.
Yeah. And plus, you got to be thinking if he even moves into the wide receiver 3 in Green Bay next year, he's going to be fairly productive, I think. So I would be making a roster spot on my taxi for him.
Yeah, anytime you can get a little bit of piece of that Aaron Rodgers offense, I mean, why not?
And Rodgers is going to be around for a while. I kind of saw I think Niles Paul could be picked up if you're needing a fill-in for
Tight end.
Tight end, yeah. With ASJ going down for the year, most likely he might come back, but it's going to be a while. And then
the 9 targets there for
surprising.
Niles Paul.
I don't think that's going to happen every week, but
he's the more athletic, I think, of the of between him and Vernon Davis right now.
And he's also proved it before.
But can he actually stay healthy? That was his biggest problem in Washington.
True.
Well, I think that he's going to get those opportunities because the main guy ahead of him, absolutely cannot stay healthy. Jordan Reed.
Well, Niles Paul is in Jacksonville.
Oh my gosh, he
Fumble!
is, isn't he? Yep, big time.
Fumble.
My bad.
Yeah, it's his first week. Give him a break.
Yep.
It's okay. It's early in the podcast. He's going to come back.
Yep, I'll rebound.
And I mentioned Jalen Smith last week for linebacker pickup, and no one picked him up. And he had a really good game.
He had a really good game.
18,
It seemed like he was
there.
all over the place.
And I don't think Sean Lee's back this week, so I would be picking him up if you needed an extra little spark to your lineup.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. 6 tackles, 6 assists, 1 sack, 1 pass deflection.
And if you watch the game, he was all over. That one where down on the goal line where he was spying on Watson and outrun him to the sideline and just smashed him.
Outran a 35-year-old tight end? Say it ain't so.
No, you're thinking of the wrong team and wrong game. There are like 3 or 4 other linebackers there, but I'm not going to name them because Flip will get mad and that somebody might steal them.
Too late.
Yep, I've got my eye on 1 or 2 of them as well. But
that's pretty much what I was looking at.
No kickers this week?
Well, there are 4 top 10 that are free agents. That's all I'm going to say.
I was just kidding. Just kidding.
I'll talk about a kicker later.
Okay. We'll get into that later then. Let's roll into the news and notes of the week.
I do like kicker sauce.
We are revamping some stuff this week, so we're getting rid of the total injury part of our podcast. So I'll cover a couple of them here. Jay Ajayi, done for the year with a torn ACL. He actually came back and played in that game. So,
which is crazy because the one injury that put him on the IR wasn't the one that was nagging him all year. He's got a broken back. It was just a matter of time before I felt that he was going to be going to IR, and it was the ACL that put him there. So that was a little ironic.
And this is not his bad knee where he's got the bone-on-bone condition already. It's actually, formerly known as his good knee.
Yeah.
It's pretty sad. I was looking forward to see if he could do something before the end of the year.
Yeah,
he was running pretty good.
It's too bad. It's a big blow for Jay Ouchie owners.
Ouch.
I'm going to wrap this into all-in-one. LaShawn McCoy possibly getting traded to the Eagles. There was also talk that Bell was going to get traded to the Eagles because the Eagles actually made some salary cap space and actually quite a bit of salary cap space.
There's no reason for Buffalo to keep McCoy.
I don't think so either, but what are they really going to get for McCoy? Are they going to get a 4th, 5th rounder for him?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I think that I don't know. It's a unique situation where I think that they're going to have to make a move. And so whether they're going to get out of him what they feel they're worth, I think it's a situation where you just kind of take what you can get because they're not playing for anything this year. He's a 30-plus year-old running back who's still got some trade value and some athletic talent. Wait for those contenders to come shopping, and get what you can get out of them. I just don't see a situation playing itself out where McCoy is on the Bills later this year. I think he's going somewhere.
That's possible. And they still could hold out to see if they're going to get some kind of an asking price for him and still play him the rest of the year. No one comes forward, but
yeah, I'm not saying that they're going to just take bottom dollar value for him, but I think they're going to I think they're going to make some move. I think some team's going to come knocking and they're going to pay the right price, and Buffalo's going to say, you know what? Yeah, we'll take it.
And what do you think of the Luke and Gary trade today? Martavis Bryant for Isaiah Crowell.
Honestly, I thought it was a really good move by Gary to get active and trade a guy who I'm not super high on, but it was the right time to make the move. I think both people come away benefiting their team. I think if Martavis Bryant can stay clean and keep his nose clean and out of trouble and can continue to play, I think he's a pretty solid pickup. He's a big deep threat in an offense that just seems to have some issues getting itself going, whether it's running the ball or throwing the ball. It's just so hit and miss. But with a guy that's a field stretcher the way Martavis Bryant is, he can go up and make those athletic plays. Yeah, I like his upside.
Wow.
Very much so. I think it's a pretty fair trade both ways there. Richard Matthews getting picked up by the Cardinals. I think that's a great landing spot for a guy with his talent. The problem is he actually going to get used?
I missed that. Where did that happen?
See,
Earlier today?
I didn't see that either, but I went and I looked, and I didn't see when I went to go look at the free agents.
You said with the Cardinals?
Do we have our second fumble?
Yeah. Can you? I'm sorry, guys. Yeah.
Yes.
Richard Matthews did go to the Cardinals.
He did?
Yeah. Almost positive of it.
Let me vet that.
Maybe I am wrong, but
I hope so, because then I won't be the only one who fumbled today.
I didn't
Okay.
see anything.
and I thought that was a few days ago.
I didn't see anything then.
Okay. Maybe I actually have that wrong.
Were you dreaming?
There's a lawsuit against Antonio Brown for a fit that he threw in April. I actually wrote an article about this. It's on behindthesteelcurtain.com. Gonna plug that. It's no big deal. It's not gonna affect them.
Okay, Flip, you're 100% correct.
Wow, what a shocker.
Yep, Richard Matthews. To the Arizona Cardinals.
What day? When?
That's been probably
A day ago.
Hmm.
October 9th.
So the 9th, huh? Well, it says Kendall Wright signed, not Richard Matthews.
I don't know. I'd have to bring it up to actually see.
Well, I'm looking right at
Well, hold on, because it does say that they brought in Richard Matthews and former Tennessee Titans, Miami Dolphins wide receiver, veteran experience. So it does say that they brought him in, had a tryout, along with kickers Daniel Carlson and Kai Forbath.
Okay, they're really not fantasy relevant, so
Yeah.
we'll just move on.
We can move on.
A quick thing that I would like to address is the ad drop from last week with Stefan. I kind of fumbled the ball on that, and I get why he did it. He was only wanting a certain amount of players, but he was wanting to pick up one if he got him, but he didn't want to pick up another guy if he didn't get him. So he actually had a vacant spot on his team. I'll address that more. I'll probably write a post on that. So, Jarvis, let's get into your Week 5 recap.
Well, before we do that, the waivers just ran. Do we want to hit those real
yeah.
quick? I'm going to try to see if I can run this site because Flip just took off. Let's see here. Okay. Can we see?
I don't see it.
Where's
posted
the
yet.
Yeah, oh, here, let's go here. Transactions.
It's not showing posted yet.
No, it's not. I just got the email, so I know that they just went through.
This is fun.
Yeah.
What's going on here?
I know.
Technical difficulties. Help, help.
Bear with us here for a second here because
That sounds like a Scooby-Doo or something, not a bear. Jay Grizz.
Okay, so yeah, so I don't know what's going on there, why it's not updating, but
Move on to the next one. We'll come back.
yeah. We can just go back to that. Sorry about the hiccup there. But yeah, so just a quick recap of Week 5, just coming off of another great week. Week 5 showed us a couple things. One, we had 4 teams this week go 2-0. We had Flip, Stefan, myself, and Tori all go 2-0. Had 4 teams go 1-1 with Will, Mike, Darky, and Gary. And then 4 teams go 0-2. Unfortunately, Luke, Kroll, JJ, and Shannon wore that scarlet letter. So as we're looking right now, Division 1, we've got Flip leading the way in that division, standing at the top at 6-3. Kroll right behind at 5-4. Gary at 3-6, and 2 Buck Chubb. Mike at 2-7. A lot of ups and downs in that division. As you can see, the longest winning streak there is 2 games, and the longest losing streak there is 2 games as well. So a lot of even scoring and matchups going on there. Division 2, we look at, we got Will. He's at 6-3. Shannon with the Donkeys at 5-4. F&G, Darky 4-5, and Luke at 1-8, rounding out that division. And then
5-game losing streak.
5-game losing streak. That's tough, and it all kind of stemmed from that error that he had, that lineup submission error where he had played too many people. Just hasn't really rebounded from that. But in Division 3, we got myself at 8-1 and Stefan at 8-1. And then Tori with Corn Ranch at 4-5, and then JJ at the in the basement there at 2-7. But if you look at Stefan's, he's got a winning streak of 7. Myself has got a winning streak of 5. So stringing together some wins there. As it were sitting, if we were to start the playoffs as of right now, we'd be looking at myself, Will, Flip, Stefan, Kroll, and Shannon advancing on to the playoffs. This is something that I think we wanted to briefly touch on, right, Flip? Like as far as, because I had a question about it earlier. As far as, so with Shannon, or not Shannon, excuse me, with Stefan and I having the 2 best records in the league right now, coming from the same division, what's that mean for Stefan as he's just a little bit behind me in points?
Well, how we do it is basically we do it the same way as the NFL. The top 3 division winners get the top 3 playoff spots. Can you guys not hear me?
No, we're good.
Sorry. So sorry, I'm having technical difficulties here, so gotta bear with me. So Jarvis would get the bye, along with
Born on a bayou.
Along with Will. Will's got me beat by 13 points. So we do it the same way as the NFL. So that's how the first 2 byes would go. I would have to play the 6th seed. And then the 4th and 5th seed would play each other. Well, Stefan might have a great record. But if you're not winning the division, sorry, that's just how it is. You're going to end up with the 4th seed.
Yeah, and that very well could change after this week. Like, he could very well take over the lead. We're so close.
Oh, there's a lot of games left.
Yeah, but I mean, but as of right now, it's kind of interesting note for everyone to pay attention to is that even though Stefan is tied for the best record in the league, he's still coming out of there as basically like a wild card. So the top 3 division winners get the first 3 seeds locked and loaded.
And it's not like his points are anything special. 955. Kroll's got that at 5-4.
But if you ask Mike and Luke, they would gladly take that point total.
Well, yeah, because they're sitting 200 points back.
Right.
Right. I'm just
so don't yeah. So
I'm talking in the grand scheme of things. Being 8-1 and 955, and Kroll sitting there at 5-4 at 956. That's why I'm saying there's a lot of tough games left.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of the guys that are looking at 1-8 or 4-5 or 2-7. It's a long season.
Yeah, and so far there's been some pretty good scoring all around, some pretty low scoring, and so just with that being said, this week also featured a new high point. Flip takes it home. Flip takes it home with 219.82, guys. That's the record to beat. We had JJ this week threaten that impressive low point that Darky threw up in week 1. Darky's currently got the low point record right now with 110.67 that he threw up in week 1. JJ put up a 117.85, so he was threatening it, but Darky still owns that. So
absolutely, and there was a lot of fantastic games.
Maybe Flip will take that newly high score and threaten Stefan this week and help you out, Jarvis.
I know. That's what I'm hoping for. I'm like, gosh, Stefan, stop it already. But no, good job for him, man. He's got a really good team. He's got a really strong team. I think we said that. We talked about that at the beginning of the year.
First pod, yeah.
Yep.
We did.
So kudos to him.
Alrighty, well let's jump into our favorite section here, the supers and poopers. Jarvis, take it away.
Yeah, so this week, my favorite super belongs to Tori. He's got Zach Ertz. So Zach Ertz, let's talk about this guy real quick. So if you look at Tori's scoring this week, he ended up going 2-0, if I'm not mistaken.
Correct.
Yeah. Going 2-0, and he propelled past his opponent because in big part to what Zach Ertz was able to do. This week he threw up 10 receptions, 110 yards. He's got 1 touchdown with 11 targets this week. Again, this helped Tori go to 2-0. He's had at least 10 targets in every single game so far this year. That is extremely impressive, especially coming out of a tight end. Week 1, 9.8 points. Week 2, 20.4. 3, 12.3. Week 4, 21.2. And week 5, 27 points. This guy's got 90.7 points on the year, making him sole tight end 1 on the year. That is huge. And this week was no different. This guy's a heavily involved piece of this offense behind a Carson Wentz that's healthy in his comeback and is lacking wide receiver options. This guy's going to continue this trend. I don't see him I don't see him getting anything less than 9-10 targets per game going forward.
No, he's basically doing what he was doing last year, and he was one at least in the top 5. I don't remember where he finished last year, but
I think he was 3 or 4.
3 or 4. So I don't see that changing myself either. On to me for my super.
Yeah.
I'm staying in that same field. I'm going to go off of Stefan's team and pull another tight end out. And this one happens to be Eric Ebron. Ebronix, you're correct. And he's been on fire this year since Doyle went down. Doyle.
Doyle doesn't rule.
And actually, Ebron has been under double digits 1 week. Otherwise, he's been almost scoring 15. This past week, he scored 31.5 points. It was 9 receptions, 105 yards, 2 touchdowns on 15 targets.
This is the Ebron that the Lions were hoping to get when they first drafted him.
Well, and you ask Stefan, and he hates this guy. He's had him probably every year in some leagues since he was a rookie, and he's just he's a drop catching or drop pass machine. I don't know how his drops are so far this year.
They're really not that bad. And when you watch that game against the Patriots and you see the type of guys that Andrew Luck is having to throw to right now, especially with T.Y. Hilton out, Jack Doyle out, he's the only trusted guy I feel like on this roster other than Nyheim Hines coming out of the backfield.
Right.
So he's just going to continue to get peppered with targets until they can get somewhat healthy.
And I think he actually got Luck's faith even more because he was in and out of that game with little dings here and there and just kept coming back in and playing through them all. And right at the end, there was the touchdown pass at the end went to somebody else, the flag, and then here comes Ebron trot on, and he goes, "Oh, you're here?"
I'll give it to you. But no, that was a fantastic game by him.
All right, and my super this week will have to go to Odell Beckham Jr.
Whoop, whoop.
With Jarvis. Odell Beckham, a solid game. 8 receptions, 131 yards, and a touchdown. And on top of that, he also did, which is not showing here, he also threw a 56-yard touchdown pass to Saquon Barkley.
Farther than any Manning touchdown pass for the year.
But that's still 14 targets. He is solidly number one wide receiver contention for the year. He had his down week 2, but how he lives and dies. It's all going to be on crappy Manning.
Well, and not even necessarily that, because where Odell Beckham made his hay last year and so far through his short career is catching these little slant passes over the middle and turning them into 60, 50-yard touchdowns, and we haven't really seen that. So
he didn't hardly play last year, by the way. Just so you remember.
No, I know, but I mean before that.
Yeah.
So far in his career, that's where he's making his hay. And so we really haven't seen that, but he is getting those targets, and so yeah.
Okay. And your pooper?
My pooper, Kroll. Ouch.
What did he do?
No. He owns this guy. He owns this guy.
He owns this guy.
Yeah. Mason Crosby Kroll, what happened?
Woo-hoo!
Ouchie, ouchie, ouchie. So
That
if you
just
look
stings.
if you look at his score, he's got 5 points. Okay, so you're like, okay, well, what could have been so bad about that game? This guy, Mason Crosby, usually a bona fide, reliable kicker, missed 4 field goals and a PAT in that game.
I think he went out and had lunch with John Carlson or something.
Is that the tight end that used to play for Seattle, Brad?
Oh, it's the rookie
Oh, we're going back to kickers there.
kickers that the Vikings drafted and then got rid of
Yeah,
after the
then
first week.
that Gonzalez kid from Cleveland too.
Yeah.
That was a one and done. But he came in, did end up hitting a 51 or a 41 yarder to salvage his day. But so far in the year, guys, he's 11 of 16 for field goals and only 8 of 10 on extra points. If you watch that game against the Lions, he makes those field goals, they win the game. Bottom line, he's 34 right now. He's starting to see a decrease in his accuracy. What do you think? Is this something that Green Bay is going to address this year? Are they going to try to write him out? Because he is a Pro Bowl kicker. He has been before in the past.
I think they write him out. My guess is also he's probably on. Well, it kind of depends on his contract too. What they can really do with him, because he's probably top 5 high paid.
You're going to give him the benefit of the doubt. Unless he pulls this off 2 weeks in a row, then you definitely push the panic button. And they might bring in somebody else just to, spark them.
Yeah, we'll see. Remains to be seen, but definitely, big time pooper.
Bradley?
I got a repeat offender.
Uh-oh.
My pooper is Amari Super Pooper.
I don't even think you can call this guy a pooper anymore. He is what it is. He's just...
He hails from every other week. He comes in with a high point of 2.
I'm not even finding him.
1 reception,
He's
10
in the
yards on 1 target. What is going on here?
I think he's on Shannon's team.
Yeah, this is Shannon's guy, unfortunately. And he seems to be only to be able to play on even weeks. So week 1, 3, and 5, he completely pooped his pants. And so if you take that,
you got to fire him up this week.
He says you got to fire him up this week with confidence. This week 6.
Oh, Amari Cooper. Boy, oh boy. If he was sending out mail, his return address would be just Poop Station or
Toilet Bowl,
Toiletville, or wherever. That's where his permanent residence is. And he occasionally goes out and gets some groceries or runs some errands, and that's when his blow-up weeks happen. But most of the time, he's pretty comfortable at home in the toilet.
Kind of like this conversation, so we'll just move on from the toilet.
I'd say if he does it again in week 7, he gets a lifetime supply of toilet paper.
Oh, boy.
Charmin says.
All righty. I'll move on to my pooper, and this is a well-deserved pooper. And this is one of the last place guys in the league. This is a triple pooper on Mike here. Starting T.Y. Hilton last Thursday, who was already out, when to rub a little salt in that wound, Tyler Lockett went off for 19.4 points, had 3 receptions for 98 yards and a touchdown and 6 yards rushing. And that's on 5 targets. That's pretty decent. But then another salt in the wound is he had Robbie Gould. Big fat 0. What they did in the San Fran game was they started out and they actually took the lead 6-0, but they went for 2. And so it threw their scoring off kilter, so they didn't bother kicking another extra point in the next 2 touchdowns. And then on top of that, he missed a 45-yard field goal. So what really hurt Mike was his kicker kind of screwed him over, a little bad team management there, and he only lost by 20. Another, more salt, Rashard Penny, but he didn't really have any choices except for to pick somebody up. But who there on his bench would you have dropped? Can you really drop Marlon Mack?
Why not? Okay.
No.
Is somebody going to steal him from the waiver wire next week?
I mean, I think at that point, I mean, like, you could look at his wide receivers. He's got a bunch of wide receivers. Cameron Meredith could have been an option to drop, or maybe package a deal, a 2-for-1 deal for, with some of these guys, that lower end guys, and maybe try to grab just like an average, running back just to fill that spot, just to at least get something.
If he wants to be,
I was surprised to see 3 zeros coming out of his lineup for this week.
Yeah, definitely so.
You're not going to win with that.
Alrighty, now we got the supers and
we didn't get to go through the waivers because it wasn't posted. If you want to go do that,
we'll do that
I got an email on my phone and it said that they went through, but I couldn't.
I can see them now.
So. Okay, so here we go. We got Smallwood, 510.
Wow,
Will pulling out the money. Guess Will's a little desperate this week, maybe.
Got those deep pockets.
It's funny because
but there's a 383.
Clement is still the.
You got to go back though. He dropped Edo Smith for Smallwood, and today there was another injury for Mr. Freeman. So it'd be interesting to see. That guy might still be worthwhile keeping around.
Yep.
But now he's dumped, so keep an eye on that.
Well, there goes my Traquan Smith that I dropped last week, going for 197.
And Mike, I got to show you here, buddy. You kind of butchered your waivers here pretty bad. Really what you need to do is the problem is you're having drops of different guys in the same waiver round. That's not going to work. If you're going to make a drop in the same waiver round, make sure it's the same guy, because it's it really could really screw up the rest of your waivers on how you really want them. Now, you did get the Traquan Smith there. I'd actually have to look at I'd have to actually see what's exactly going on with your waivers to, that'd take me a little while. There's just a lot of them. There's the Scantling to Kroll. Nice, even $100. Jalen Smith, I got screwed out of him, but I wasn't betting $39 on him either.
You didn't have that.
Oh, I got that. I got like 56. Thank you very much. Okay, so Mike does come out okay and picks up a kicker.
can't believe we're talking.
Yeah,
about
that was
kickers.
tough because I had to drop Greg the leg because of the injury, and I knew someone was going to pick him up. But good
Like I said-
pickup. Good pickup.
And there's me picking up
Niles Paul.
I
Yep.
desperately did need that because of losing ASJ.
JJ picks up Rashard Higgins, who's hurt right now.
Right now.
But a good option, though, for Baker. So I
He
like
has
that.
been pretty solid.
I like him better than Jermaine Kearse, so I think that's a good move.
I turned around and took Dante Moncrief. I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to do with him yet. I do have 2 taxi spots open. He'll be filling one of those voids for right now. But I'm going to need some wide receiver help at some point. I don't count on Robbie Anderson very much. There's actually, surprisingly, I guess it's kind of place kickers times too.
Yeah.
Here.
Mason Crosby did get axed in this league.
Yeah.
Oh, Kroll cut his butt, didn't he?
Ooh, and grab Brett Maher, former Nebraska boy.
A couple of safeties, more kickers going down.
Luke got Alfred Blue for
Yep.
$2.36.
Must have been listening earlier.
Well, and Stefan picked up Powell for one
For
penny.
a penny. That's awesome.
But then he turned around and picked up J.J. Watt. Let's see how much he actually starts him and how much he regrets starting him.
Oh, he's demoted Alfred Blue to taxi squad already.
So, okay, now we will.
Interesting.
Where were we? Oh, we were going to get into this week, weren't we?
Yeah.
We're also revamping this a little bit, so we're just trying to make the show not 3 hours long. We'll see how quickly we try not to, or we won't make this 3 hours long tonight. So just looking through a couple of quick matchups, looks like K-Town and the Donkeys are that's going to be close. FNG and Corn Ranch. But I think the big matchups are going to be, Stefan and I, Stefan and Kroll, and I know there's one more. Maybe there's not.
Jarvis, Shannon, no.
No. So, just
Corn Ranch, what can you do?
do you want to go over this first matchup, Jarvis?
Between you and Stefan, this one's going to be a fun
Yeah.
one to watch. If we just kind of do a cross comparison here, and both are going to start the quarterbacks. We're not dealing with any bye issues there. Man, that's tough. The way CJ Beathard played last week, I mean, gave me some confidence starting him going forward.
I can do it, man.
Huh?
I can do it.
Yeah, right. But then you know, Phillip Rivers, I think, could have an explosive game against the Browns this week, and well,
Hopefully not in his pants.
right. Just looking across, so Keenan Allen, Julio Jones, Juju Smith. So Juju Smith, Schuster. So we go to the wide receivers against Doug Baldwin, Jordy Nelson, Sterling Shepard. I definitely give the edge there to Stefan. Running back.
What?
Oh, not. I'm sorry. To Flip. Stefan.
What?
Stefan gets the edge with the running back. Obviously.
Did he miss the Doug Baldwin one catch last week, or is he thinking?
No,
he's gonna...
I said you
I
get
know.
the-
I'm still teasing. you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ebron against the Jets, Kelsey, Patriots. I still got to go Kelsey there. This is gonna be a real fun one to look forward to. This is actually one of my highlights of the week.
And we'll see if Stefan actually makes some roster. Move some guys in and out of his lineup, depending on the health of Fitz and Goodwin here. Without Tate, this could be it could be a big loss for him for the week. Either way, it should be pretty good. Definitely, probably not a 15-point gap.
I
don't even know if we want to go through this, but JJ didn't get in his lineup fully. He's got a defense on a bye week, and he's got Prescott sitting on the right in the pine right now. So, yeah, you never know.
And he's not going to be missing. There's not many bye weeks.
No, there's not very many. There's only 2 teams on a bye this week. The Lions and someone else, right?
Saints.
Saints, yeah. Yep.
So actually, who's going to get hit by that?
Kroll is going to get murdered by that.
Yes, he is.
And he has a big
Sorry,
matchup,
Kroll.
right? Isn't he playing Stefan?
Let's see. Yeah.
Yeah, right here.
So
he's down a quarterback to begin with, which is, losing Breeze. That's pretty huge.
Yeah, but he's got.
He does not have a full lineup in yet. He is missing. Looks like a kicker. Is he missing a flex? Looks like no. He's got 3 running backs in there, so he's not missing a flex. So 28 points is separating him. Probably put it at 20 without a kicker.
But then again, his flex probably Austin Eckler has the potential to have a pretty good game against the Browns. So you never know,
Good test for his depth.
See, that actually leads into my sleeper right there, which is Tariq Cohen.
I like that play.
And I do too. We've seen how terrible the Dolphins manage their team, I guess, or don't manage their team. However you want to actually say that. Go down a little further. Torrey's had a lot of bad luck this year. It really kind of started with the Bell trade.
I think it started before that, but he had to make a move, and I think it was the right move to make. It just didn't pan out for him because he had 2 legit starting running backs coming back, to him. But Derrick Henry is one of those guys that has just been an absolute abomination so far this year. For a guy as talented as he is,
was some people. I was not a big high on Henry myself, but
look what he did last year when DeMarco Murray was done. Like he was when the whole backfield was to him, and the fact that Dion Lewis has a long history of injuries. It's not out of the realm of possibilities to say that Dion Lewis could potentially get hurt this year, and then Derrick Henry taking over that lead back role again. What has changed though? Because he looks like he's not running the same way he was before.
I haven't watched the games, and I really don't know if they changed any blocking schemes there with the new offense, and that could possibly be part of the issue. Maybe he was better running underneath the other O-line with a different scheme, but without going into it, I can't verify it. But
yeah, it's an unfortunate situation. But
he needs to get a big head of steam. He needs big holes. He doesn't power through them or like he should, as big as he is. But
now I'd like to go back really quick to Kroll and Stefan, and also this affects me too. Do you actually sit? This is my sit would be Baldwin on his team, but that would have to be if one of these wide receiver plays. Do you sit one of those wide receivers if they're?
Who are you looking at?
Both of them. I mean, both
sitting Baldwin for either. Well, the problem is Fitzgerald's on a Sunday at noon, and you probably couldn't go with Goodwin on Monday, could you?
Well,
depending on what his Friday.
Yeah, I mean, because Baldwin plays at noon as well, so you have to make that decision right away.
Yeah,
I think that you have to roll with him because again, last week he was 100% healthy. It was just really.
But he's only getting in on 43% of the snaps for the last 3 weeks. That's not even wide receiver 3 snaps on a team. Most wide receiver 3s are getting 50% or above. Are they just really managing him that much?
I still say you roll with him over a banged up Fitzgerald and a banged up Marquise Goodwin.
Okay, so Gary's gonna go up against
Will.
here, and say what you want. It's 24-point game, but it should be closer than that.
Will's taking a chance. Throwing out Devonta Freeman. In that game, Bucks are actually pretty good against the rush.
But is he going to start? Is he really going to start Jalen Richard, who he has been starting, or sit Smallwood against the Giants defense on Thursday?
Smallwood would be the only one I would consider.
Yeah, against the Giants.
But as of right now, the word on the street is that, coming out of Philadelphia, that Corey Clement is 100% good to go, and I think he's probably going to be the guy that's in line for the bulk share of the running back work that week.
And Jordan Howard has been an absolute bust this year.
He'll bust out this week against Miami.
I really think he will. I really think he will. And part of it has to do with the fact that there's been some pretty big games from Tariq Cohen, which you talked about,
And they're still trying to formulate stuff in that offense, so they may use him more when it gets colder too. Who knows?
But if you go back up to Will, he's actually Tom Brady is my start of the week this week. He's going up against the Chiefs. Chiefs given up an average of 343 yards through the air per game this year so far. They're very susceptible, to giving up those big plays. Chiefs have a high-powered offense that can hit you quick with those big plays. I think this has the potential to be a shootout. And with Gronk healthy, Edelman coming back, James White catching the ball, I think that this has the makings of having a very, very big and solid and productive game out of Tom Brady.
Oh, absolutely.
And then scroll back up. I think he's got another guy. Maybe not. No, he does not. Nope, never mind. Different guy. Go on. We'll get to him a little bit later.
Well, maybe you can get into.
Your
sit here with, is it your sleeper?
Yeah, my sleeper. This one's going to be for Darky. He's starting right now, Jared Cook against the Seahawks. He does have Cameron Brate on the team, which is actually my sleeper of the week. I really like Cameron Brate this week against the Falcons. All right, they're on the road versus the Falcons, but the Falcons they're ranked 24th against the pass right now. With O.J. Howard out of the picture for at least another week or two, he's always been heavily targeted when Jameis Winston is a quarterback. And I think that Winston's going to have a successful game through the air this week. What do you think, Brad? I mean, what would you do if you had Jared Cook, Cameron Brate? Who do you start?
I go Brate just for the fact that O.J. Howard wouldn't be in there. But that's something to keep an eye on because Howard's trying to say he feels like he's good enough to play.
I know.
Coming off that bye, and he's like trying to work his way into the starting lineup this week. So if that happens, then I don't think you can start Brate with as much confidence as you would without him.
He's a touchdown monster too. Like when they get down in that red zone, Winston loves to throw to Brate. So this is a tough one because both Jared Cook's been playing very well, probably the best football of his career so far.
Had his worst game of the year, but he's only had he's had 2 blow-up spots and and the other 3 games were under double digits. So is he really having a great season or just
he's having some big games? Yeah, that's probably a better way to put it. But man, he's been putting up some monsters this week or this year so far. But I really feel like if it were me, I would probably make the decision to go Brate over Cook. Just for those reasons, again, going against a Falcons team that is extremely susceptible and has shown that to be the case, getting beat through the air.
I don't know if you guys talked about this.
This year's going to be.
Did O.J. Howard practice today on limited basis?
Right. Yeah.
Correct?
We just mentioned.
Okay. Sorry.
But yeah, you're gonna attack the Atlanta's defense all year long now.
You have to.
Oh, they're terrible.
Until they can prove you wrong, you have to.
But that's a pretty big. I'm not going to call any games a must win between Darky and Gary here, but the loser gets a little further back. Same way with Kroll and Luke. The penalty from the beginning of the year, Luke just is really tough to bounce back from. And
now, what's the word on Cobb? Do we have any updates on him?
I didn't see any or hear anything.
I don't think I've seen anything on him either.
But he's doing the right thing there. Alfred Morris, TJ Yeldon with Luke. I think those are the two guys I would definitely start. TJ Yeldon, for the time being, is going to be the guy, and he's going to get a lot of work.
And Alfred Morris actually is my sleeper for the week.
Absolutely, and rightfully
over Crowell,
so.
Who I get that he just traded for Crowell. Breda.
And so far, tip of the hat to Luke, for sticking with Alfred Morris. I know that it's tempting to start a guy you just traded for, but in this matchup, I think you have to go with Alfred Morris. He's going to be
14th ranked defense that he's going up against, where, Alfred Morris is banged up, and the Colts really aren't that bad against a run.
No, and then plus for the fun side of everything, when it comes down to Monday night, you still got a guy rooting, to root for.
Mm-hmm. I always find that silly.
I know, but it's still fun.
Oh, okay. Losses are never fun.
No,
because
they're
you
not.
Start a guy on Monday night.
I'm not saying that was a determining factor, but it's just one of those things that it's just it's also fun.
Some people do play it that way, though.
Yeah, they do. They do.
Another, Luke and Mike. Well, we'll see. Two struggling teams. They are definitely at the
So
bottom
what
of
about Dalvin Cook, real quick? Brad.
I haven't heard any new news on him either.
If he goes and he can play, going up against the Cardinals defense, wow, that is a dream matchup. You can run a lot against the Cardinals defense.
I don't think he re-injured anything, and they just been lightly using him and hoping that he'll get fully healthy. I would say you could plug him in this week. Why not?
So do you think it'll still be maybe a little bit of a committee between him and Latavius?
Yeah, but Murray isn't doing anything.
He's not.
Hardly at all. Cook's got to break out one of these times.
And here's another big game between Shannon's doesn't have a full lineup in. I'm sure he'll get it in tomorrow. He does have a lot of banged up players to go along with Jack Doyle, who's all but looking like he's out, looking like Shannon's going to need himself a tight end.
Well, the good news
on the
is
Friday waiver.
Marvin Jones being on the bye week puts Amari Cooper in his starting lineup for the even week. So
oh, yep. Oh no.
Oh, and he's actually got to pick up a
he's got
wide
Jamison
receiver to start.
He's got Jamison Crowder down there that he can throw up.
I'm sorry. I was for some reason thinking that Crowder was not playing.
Yeah, we'll assume that's going to happen, and then probably Luke Kuechly. I would assume we'll get plugged in there over Demario Davis.
True. So that's a lot closer than almost 40 points that we're seeing.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll get a nice big fat upset, and we'll see that 8-1 turn into 8-3.
It'll all be in the hands of Amari Cooper.
Reeled in. Corn Ranch and Tori and Will should be another good battle. I know it's separated by 30 points, but Tori's without Stafford but plugging in Flacco is that really a 30-point drop?
if you want to, this is the week to go with Eli Manning. He lit up the Eagles both times last week, and the Eagles haven't been stopping anybody with the pass. So you might be plugging in Eli Manning this week. That could be the sneaky snart.
That's your sleeper?
Sure, why? Yep.
Sure.
Well, and then I also see that he's playing Nyheim Hines over Kenyon Drake, which is what I would probably do, as Kenyon Drake is actually my sit of the week. You know, he's at home against the Bears. The Bears right now, number 1 against the rush. They've only allowed 256 yards on the ground all year. They've only given up the longest rush that they've given up so far has only been 15 years.
15 years?
Or 15 yards. My goodness, what is wrong with me today?
But
he's coming off of a big game. He really is. He's coming off a good game last week. But look at that. He only had 6 rushes, so that's not anything different. We still had Frank Gore with like 12 carries. So Gore's out carrying him. Yeah, he had some targets, but look at the target share before. He only had 4, 4, 4, and 2, and then all of a sudden 11. Now, is that a bit of an outlier? I mean, could be. I don't know.
But I would say it's more of an outlier than a trend.
But let's just say that they're going to go a little bit more pass heavy. The Bears are ranked 11th or 5th versus the pass. You know, so
yeah, you better sit Drake.
I
think you were looking at the Lions there.
What?
On the pass rank.
No. I was looking at ESPN rankings today.
Oh, don't look at ESPN.
ESPN.
I know.
Who's that?
Look at my fantasy league. That's all that matters.
Yeah, they're always right.
Again, well, we're gonna skip this. Neither one of those guys have their stuff in.
So, I don't know if this is going to throw a big wrench in everything, but Crow is requesting that we refresh our screen. So I don't know if he made any changes.
Oh, did he? Where's okay? I'll just do that. So he got himself a new lineup in, did he?
I think he may have.
Oh, there he is. Yeah, his team still looks bad. Just kidding, Kroll.
But now he's got 12 players in there.
Yeah, and that puts him within 20 points of Luke there. Let's see his other matchup.
So with him, like with Watson, how concerned are you with Watson being a little bit banged up? He's going against the Bills, so that's good.
Is that good? The Bills' defense really is not that
Is
bad.
it in Buffalo?
It is at home.
No, it's at home. Okay, so that's good.
And the Bills are 10th against the pass. Well, depending, I guess, if you're looking at ESPN or my fantasy league.
Depending on if Traveris White is going to play, he's dinged up. If he's not in there, Watson should have a big
game.
Day. Yeah.
Yep.
So he pushed it within 20 there. So that will definitely get more interesting as that goes by. And do we really put a lot of stock into their points on here? Not really, but it does give us a little barometer at least. I think we did. Did we do these guys? Corn Ranch and Will?
Yeah, I think we did.
Okay, I think so. Yeah. Okay. I think FNG, Darky and Corn Ranch will be our last one here. We're looking at 151 to 153, so very competitive matchup between the two.
Look at Darky going with the 2 Baltimore Ravens wide receivers stacked there.
You don't see that every day. And, well, does he have a choice?
Hogan, Deshaun Jackson. Yeah, I think
you would see Deshaun Jackson in there, I would think. Wouldn't you? Against the Falcons defense?
I think you have to. I would take out Snead and I would put in Deshaun Jackson.
Agreed.
So you have that deep threat there at any moment.
Mm-hmm. So that's it. It's going to be a very competitive week. There's some of the top teams are playing each other. Some of the division leaders are playing each other. It'll be interesting no matter how you slice it. Some of the weaker teams are going to be playing some of the other weaker teams. This could be a really nice moving week for some of these teams to be reeling in Jarvis and Stefan, definitely so.
Keep pace.
And you know, catching Will, or you know, having Kroll pass me again, or the other two guys in my division catching up. It'll be definitely a good week. It's not going to go, you know, all the cream is not going to stay at the top. That's probably for sure.
Says you.
I'm not the cream at the crop, I'll tell you that. Well, I think that's probably it for the night. Hopefully everybody enjoyed another thrilling podcast of intentional streaming. Hopefully the new intro music got put in, and I'll throw that in here at the end as well, just for a little fun. We're gonna see if Brad can whip us up a nice fancy intro. I don't think he knew that I was going to hit him up for that, but he does now.
Judging by the look on his face, it's totally been sprung on him.
Oops.
Okay.
So, alrighty. So be sure, again, hit that subscribe, hit that bell to get notified when we go live. And
Make some noise.
all right. Well, thanks, guys. Here is the exit music.
Good luck this week, everybody.